Hey everyone, so I was tagged by Sarah over at Budget Girl for the dumbest thing I ever spent my money on tag. Now, I have done a few videos like this before, and she also mentions that on her channel. We did a video like this time last year, I think, called Money Stories, the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and that basically kind of explains some of the things like that we did dumb with money and things that like stupid things that we bought. And so I was trying to think of things that I have purchased in the past that I was like, oh, that was really stupid. That was kind of like a big, purchase that would make a difference, with my financial future. And, I really could not focus on like one single thing. I know I've mentioned before in the past, like on my channel, that my old house was probably the biggest, dumbest thing I ever purchased. And that is true. I did a video like a million years ago called Why We Became Renters, that basically explained why we sold our house and kind of like where we were in that mindset. I think it's smart to obviously have a mortgage if it's something that is reasonable for you and your family. But just for us at the time, we weren't in a great place, and it was the best choice for us at the time to sell our house and move. So that was, of course, like one of the other things I thought, well, the biggest thing is probably the house, that we purchased a house. But honestly, I guess like I just wanted to take an opportunity to, when I was, thinking about doing this video, the biggest thing I think that I wasted money on was just all the years prior to knowing Dave Ramsey and doing his plan. Because I think about the time that when we first bought our old house, between that moment of like literally walking through the door, keys in hand, sorry, a cat just walked across like my windowsill. It's kind of weird. From the moment that we walked in the door with those keys, with this big mortgage, this big house, and just where we were at that time, like totally broke, and yet we just tripled our mortgage. So stupid. But that day, between that day and the day that we heard about Dave Ramsey and all the days in between that, I just think about how we just wasted so much money on so many different things. Whenever we had different car notes, when my husband had his motorcycle, when I would go out on the weekends and spend money on things like for the house, and just so many times that I could have made smarter choices with our money during that time. That's probably the biggest, dumbest thing that I ever spent money on, was just the time that I was so careless with our money, that we would go off on these little weekend trips and I wouldn't even have a budget for it. And I'd put this on a credit card, or I'd put this on the debit card. I wouldn't even look twice at what it was that we were spending, because there was so much opportunity there with our income to do something smart with it, and we didn't. We had so much money coming in and it was all going out, and I had no control over it. So again, I wish that I could just, kind of focus on one thing. And I guess if I had to, I would say again that it was a house, just because us purchasing that home with that mortgage at that time in our life was just a bad idea. But that house was really, it was a bad idea, but it was also all the things that we did while living in that house, and all just the dumb things that we did with money. There's that cat again. I'm sorry. It's just so weird. I've never seen, anyway. I'm like totally off. Okay, so it was all the dumb things that we did. Again, all the times that I would just finance everything. I financed our living room furniture. I financed all 3 of our TVs that we had in our house. I financed our bedroom furniture. We financed cars. We financed trips. We financed everything. It was just everything had a payment. So again, I wish I could say it was just the house, but I really think that the house was the starting point to a lot of poor choices, because I think that once you say yes to debt, and you say yes that it's okay to have debt and it's okay to finance things, I think you just start to kind of slowly spiral out of control. Not everybody. Some people can, finance cars and have credit cards and things like that, and that's totally fine. If it's something that, if it works for them, that's great. But just for me personally, once I started, I started with a car note, and then a credit card, and then a house, and then, and it just kind of continued to build and build and build. And next thing you know, I had 4 or 5 credit cards, and I was financing all the furniture in my house, and I couldn't go to the grocery store without putting it on a credit card, and it just got to a point where it was so bad because I had no control over it. So again, I think it was just, again, the dumbest thing I ever spent money on was basically anything that I spent money on that didn't have a budget, and I wasn't thinking like how Dave Ramsey would think. So that's my response to that question. And just like Budget Girl, I'm going to leave some of the videos down below that we've done before in the past that kind of go down to a little bit more detail about, the money stories, the good, the bad, the ugly. as well as I have another video. I can't think of it off the top of my head. What was it? I'm not sure. I'll find it, but I will link it below. So thank you so much, Budget Girl, for inviting me to do this tag. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. And I will see y'all in the next video.